It's 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm out at Eloika Lake meeting up with Eric Magnuson of Clam Outdoors for my first ever ice fishing experience. Apparently the ice is good, the fishing is good, and we're gonna go fishing. Alright. Got a fish flopping on the ice. Good. You too.
Nice to meet you finally. Well, there's a fish right there. So there's that red mark. The top mark's my lure that I'm jigging.
Gotcha.
And that red mark that's real shy, he's going up and down. And that's how sometimes these fish react. So you kind of got to keep, here he comes. He's coming. Of course, I strike.
We're gonna get some gear in the water and we'll be right back with a little bit of tips and tactics and hopefully some fish.
Yes, let's hope. This machine here, a lot of times I'll tell people, just because I have a pile of fish on the water or up here doesn't mean it's this spot. I could go anywhere on this lake, and as long as I have this, it's going to tell me where they're at, how they react.
Pretty wild.
But it tells me right now that there's fish here.
I've never seen electronics like that.
Yeah, this is from Vexlar. They're basically the world leader in sonar and depth finders when it comes to ice fishing.
Yeah, it's obviously specialty equipment for this ice fishing, right?
It is. I mean, it's like going from electronics to your boat to, you know, it's hard to fish without those.
Right, absolutely. You use that to put action on that lure when you see somebody, when you start marking something.
Right,
right.
And I can read what kind of structure's there.
Gotcha.
Like right now, with this lake being really weedy, this is one of those hard bottom areas.
Gotcha.
Red's going to be your hardest target.
Gotcha.
So if there's weeds, usually there's like a big lighter color of clutter.
Gotcha.
And if it's a fish, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be a red, strobing kind of.
Gotcha.
Especially when they get really excited. These are floating ice picks. I urge every ice angler to carry them, just due to the fact that I carry them even late season. But you get in some of these patchy areas that are like dark ice, and if you do happen to fall in, you pick yourself out, stab them into the ice. I've never had to use them personally, thank goodness. But yeah, they are lifesavers. They've been known to save lives. There's other things like spud bars and...
Where are my ice picks, Eric?
I know.
Apparently my life is dispensable, but I do it all for Northwest Fishing Report. So. The risk I take for you people.
I do got a safety rope. We'll throw them just in case.
Oh, sweet.
But I do like you guys do have ice cleats too.
Yeah, upon your recommendation, we were able to find them at the general store. Good. Slapped right on. We're good.
Yeah, no, general store by far is one of the best bait shops there is in town. I had to run there last minute just to get maggots because not one bait shop in Spokane had maggots besides general store. So kudos to them. Usually low light hours, the crappie will be biting. About 8 to 9, they start slowing down, I've noticed. And throughout the day, the perch will bite.
Gotcha.
And then by the end hours, by 3 to 4, I tend to start getting the crappie again.
Gotcha. I like the idea of you walking us through the whole setup process.
Yeah.
And sharing that with everybody at home.
Cool. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
We'll get all set up. We'll go through how to set up the huts and drill some holes maybe. I got some holes already pre-drilled down here that I drilled last night, but we can show them all the other gear and start from there.
That'll be great.
All right.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Well, Eric, we just got our sleds out here, and you're gonna walk us through a basic setup.
Yeah. So normally when I come out here, if I'm familiar with the lake, I'll either set up on a piece of structure or go off maybe a piece on the shoreline that I kind of remember in my head. If we all don't have a GPS unit, let's say. So typically this lake doesn't carry a lot of structure, but weeds and maybe some little breaks and points. So we are on a little bit of deeper water here. So I'll set up, first I'll get to my spot, I'll drill some holes, put the fish finder in my holes, check to see if fish are there. Sometimes I'll hole hop, which I have quite a few holes drilled to where I'll just move hole to hole, and when I do find fish, that's when I usually set up my huts, and then I'll fish from there.
So when you say you're looking for structure, is that just like in the summer where crappie, perch, they're going to be under docks or around some type of pinnacle or rocks? Or
correct. And normally if we're fishing off of a point, that will hold fish, but this lake typically doesn't really have structure other than deep pockets of water and weed lines. Gotcha. Right now in the winter, these panfish are spawning, so they're full of eggs. They're looking for areas to lay their eggs, and majority of the time they're laying them on weeds. They don't make beds like bluegill, let's say. These perch and crappie, they'll put their eggs on the weeds themselves.
Okay.
So what I'm using right now this time of year is real buggy looking presentations like beaded head flies, small glow hooks, and tipping them with maggots. And these fish come through and they don't like anything that looks like a bug because those bugs infest their beds.
Gotcha.
So once they see those, they'll just hammer them. So
it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Eric, what are the seasons then? Do you start ice fishing as soon as the ice is a couple inches thick? 4 inches?
I encourage 3 to 4 inches to walk on. Always walk out with your ice picks, of course. Early season into late season, I always just wear them on just because I promise my family I keep them on too.
Sure, right.
I encourage a spud bar, which this is just the bottom of my spud bar. It is late season right now, but a spud bar would be a little bit taller, and you would walk out on the ice and you hit it. That's safe enough to walk. So as you walk, you would hit it, and you would keep venturing out to your fishing hole.
Gotcha.
If I hit that ice and it just goes right through, you want to back up, go the way you can.
Right.
And yeah.
I know it varies from lake to lake. Here in Eloika, we're 30 minutes north of Spokane. You've told me about some North Idaho lakes. You've talked about some Okanagan County stuff.
Yes.
In general, are we talking mid-November, December?
Okay, so
on a good year.
Typical good year on your higher lakes like Okanagan mountain lakes, you can get on them Thanksgiving, typically. Up here and even north into Colville, this year we were on, and last year we were on during just after Thanksgiving. And then it runs typically into March. We've had seasons where ice seasons only lasted 1 month. But typically, yeah, it runs anywhere from late November into early March.
So we're gonna watch Eric drill some holes. He's got a hand auger, and maybe give us some tips.
So yeah, typically I use a hand auger just because I like to stay light, mobile. I do use a gas auger, but when I'm hole hopping and going to fishing hole, it's nice to be light and as mobile as possible. So these blades are really sharp, so always watch yourself. So yeah, this is a throw rope for safety as well. I urge any ice angler just to carry any piece of rope with you, 50, 25 feet, whatever it is. This one, for instance, is 50 feet. So if Rob went through the ice
without my ice picks,
without his ice picks that I have, I can throw this rope to him, and the rope comes out real easily. He can hold on to that bag, and we can pull each other. Hopefully get them right back up onto the ice, but rope is a big safety key that I urge any ice angler to carry. I encourage everyone to use a scoop because times you'll see them use their hands, and once your hands get cold, it's not fun. So we got a Vexilar here. It's a Sonar fish finder from Vexilar Incorporated. This unit here will tell me if there's fish. It'll tell me structure, if we're on a hard bottom, if we're in weeds. Right now there's a fish right there. So I know this area is pretty fertile for fish, crappie and perch. But yeah, so once I get a hole drilled and I start checking my holes and I know there's fish, that's when I start thinking I want to set my hut up here and get down fishing. So there's different styles of huts. A lot of guys just fish on a bucket outside in the open, which is fine. I did that for years. I've used my coyote blind. It's light, it's mobile. This year I'm going with the new 20th anniversary Legend from Clam Outdoors. It's a one-man, but it's all thermal. It has a deluxe seat, so this thing will flip over you. Again, it's fully insulated hut. If you got your Mr. Buddy heater on, you can stay warm all day. You can hole hop. Once you get cold, you can jump in these, stay warm, stay out of the elements when it starts snowing, raining. There's a light bar in these shacks. So you have this LED light bar up here. So when you're sitting here on a dark day, you can see all your gear in here. I can grab whatever I need on each side. You can close this right up and you can fish in here for hours. Most fish I'm cutting open right now, they're full of bugs.
Gotcha.
Snails, bloodworms. Perch love bloodworms. So any kind of buggy presentations is what they're really hitting on right now. Yeah, it's the thrill of just finding them, for sure.
Oh, this will be good.
Yeah.
Right on. So we got a couple huts set up. We're organizing some gear here, and we'll be right back with some fishing.
All right.
Cue the fish. Eric, cue the fish.
I wish I could just pull one out like that. I should have brought one.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
A little grumpy fishing here.
Yeah.
Eloika.
Yep. That movie brings back some memories too, and of course we don't get the seasons like Minnesota, but I tell you what, that right there, that's
real ice fishing hat.
That is.
I thought I needed to fit in and look like I knew what I was doing. So
no, I need maybe one of my sponsors maybe to put one of their names on something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, that looks good.
All right.
Right now I'm just using a small profile fly. It's a tungsten beaded head. Now tungsten's a big thing with ice fishing now. When you're in these schools of fish and you catch one, you typically pull them out and you want to get back down there as soon as you can, so the tungsten drops a lot quicker than lead itself. Just kind of pound that with, there's different cadences I work with. Sometimes they don't want movement. You're just sitting there still and they'll hit it. But once I move it, I notice they scare away. So it's kind of reading what they want, how they react.
You gotta be one with the fish.
One with the fish. And I tell you what, I would fish with a piece of string and a hook with a fish finder than a fishing pole. I mean, I can't stress enough, fish finders are going to be your success.
Gotcha. Because then you know they're in there and can react to it.
Yeah, you know how they're reacting, you know the footage of water, the structure you're in.
So Eric, tell me, what does Catfish Hunter look like on this?
Well, so if you see your lure and it's a little black line like that,
Yeah.
it's going to be a solid black line on this unit specifically.
Gotcha.
The unit I run, the Vexilar, they're red lines.
Ah.
And last week we were in Cascade, Idaho fishing for 2-pound perch, and it would just be a bunch of little school of little bait fish, and these big red blobs would come on the screen, and you knew, oh my, here's the catfish hunter right here. So yeah, you'll see a bigger mark on the screen. Gotcha. And you'll know it's a fish. Deck. That's an alright perch here for Eloika Lake. If you get in a school of these, maybe typically like 15 to 30 of them a day, that's a good fish fry if you plan on eating them, which I think we'll plan on keeping a few of them today. But yeah, that's about an 8-9 inch perch right there.
That's awesome. Now, do you bone these, or are they?
I just fillet them. Yep, just deep fry them. Fish tacos are pretty good. So with these two, I was kind of like a walleye. You watch out for those spines. Yeah. And then right there will get you too. So I typically try to squeeze them tight right there, or just by the bottom.
So there's a real sharp point there, if you can see.
Right there. That'll get you almost like a needle that comes out of the skin.
No.
But that will get you. Or if they're big enough, you can actually lip them like a bass. So, all right, good job.
Where's your fish finder, Hillary?
I don't have a fish finder today, and was the first one to look into a fish.
I know.
It's ladies' luck.
Yes. Nice job.
Awesome. That's fun.
So Eric took me up with the ice hut. I'm got my sonar, my Mr. Buddy heater, my rod, waiting for the fish to bite.
Fishy. Nice catch, Abby. Nicely done. Yeah, very good, Abby.
Abby killed me on the size though. It's just a little baby.
Well, again, this lake specifically we're fishing, you're not going to find large fish. There is numbers in here, but
they're tasty.
They are tasty. You get a pile of these, you're going to be eating pretty good. We'll keep that one too.
Eric, thanks a lot for having us out here.
You bet, Rob. Thank you.
A lot of fun out here. Eric, ice fishing seems like a cool option for families, individuals, anybody that wants to get out during the winter, have a little recreational opportunity, catch some fish, spend a day having fun.
I agree. A lot of guys put away their fishing stuff in the winter and think fishing's over till spring, and lo and behold, we got this season out here. This is what I enjoy. I enjoy helping people and spreading the word of our sport in general.
And you got your whole family out here?
I do. If it wasn't for these guys, I wouldn't be doing this. This is Abby.
Hi.
This is my wife, Leanne.
Hi.
And yeah, if it wasn't for these guys, I wouldn't be doing what I do.
Sure.
For sure.
Ice fishing, a real family-friendly option. A lot of fun for me and Hillary today. So we'll see you on the ice and online.
Mr. Buddy was not in this shot, so it looks like you might just be a weirdo.
My Mr. Buddy. Me and Mr.
Got
Buddy are
Mr.
fishing
Buddy.
today, and I'm all alone in my ice hut with Mr. Buddy.
Do you want to do that again?
Sure. So Eric's hooked me up with the ice hut. I'm got my sonar, my Mr. Buddy heater, my rod, waiting for the fish to bite.
Waiting for the fish to bite.
What else? Here I am in Eric's fish hut. Sonar, Mr. Buddy, my little rod,
Don't say your little
my little rod, and my Mr. Buddy.
When people are like, why are the rods so short? You know, I'm like, well, yours would be too if, you
It's
know,
cold.
it's cold out there.
It looks like my rod shrank, but it's really cold.
Right. Sometimes I'll put a few in my lip. Just, no, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I've heard of guys, I keep a couple in my lip. They don't freeze that way.
Yeah, well, that's a little too hardcore for me.
It is. It is.